Alright, yo, what up? I am kind of just making a bit of a like general rapid tutorial right now. Um, this isn't gonna be too like specific or anything. I just figured I might as well just kind of yap about the game for a little bit. So I'm just gonna cover like some like tech related stuff. I'm kind of assuming that you know how the game works here. But basically for the speedrun, Roxy is more different than the rest of the cast, but I'll explain like what she does different compared to the other characters as I go, just so you know, like if you're playing as another character, you know that there's gonna be like some strat differences. But basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna set our assist to Julie. Julie's very useful for the first half of the run because they give the attack ups for bosses, and we're gonna take away we're gonna give away all our hearts until we're at 10 HP or lower. This is so we die to Metal Sky here, because dying to him here is faster than trying to kill him. This first arena is actually pretty complicated, as is the most of the tutorials down here. So what we're gonna do is these robots can be killed by pretty much any move. I think they literally effectively have 1 HP. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run over to them and grab them and then pummel them, which is gonna be the fastest way to kill them. It's immediate. Every single character can do this. Lucas's is a little slower, but it still kills. And then what I'm doing here, you're gonna notice after this cutscene, I kind of walk to the left and then back to the right. Enemies in this game are kind of weird, where they spawn on either the far edges of the room you're in or on the side of the screen, but majority it's on the side of the visible screen. So by moving left and then moving back right, I'm actually trying to get the enemy to spawn a little bit further to the right. And that'll lead the back and forth that I do here to have the enemies closer together. So we're just gonna grab pummel, grab pummel, grab pummel. Again, this run's gonna have like a bunch of minor mistakes, but it's fine. And then after that third grab pummel, you're gonna run over here, and Roxy can just spin because Roxy's spin is completely insane. It's the only, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's the only special that like you can like more freely move in, which is why we're gonna use it so much. So Roxy's spin is faster than doing what all the other characters are going to do here, which is throwing the robot into the other robot. Unless you're like Lucas or I think it's Lucas or Gideon, you're probably just gonna want to do two grab pummels instead, because their throws are weird. Yeah, but like I miss it there. But as you can see on this right side, what I was trying to do there was kill both enemies with the spin. What I do here, this is pretty simple. You don't really even need to do this. But basically, I'm gonna stand still, do this little like wiggle just to get the robots to spawn, and then the cars to spawn immediately behind them, so they instantly die. And then the moment those die, there's gonna be a lot of times during arenas where you have downtime in this game, and you're gonna use that downtime to collect money. This is one of the big differences between New Game and New Game Plus, is, you know, caring about collecting money. You kind of want to leave here with at least $30. I'm pretty sure you can leave with a little less, like 28 or something, but before you run out of money with the route the shop route I'm doing, but I don't know. For this one, you don't really have to care about killing the enemies optimally until you see this like last 2 or 3 bots spawn, where I'm gonna start like actually spinning more. And that's because the wave after this wave has a certain amount of time before it can actually spawn. So it's not really that important to some waves in this game you don't actually really need to kill fast. It's kind of interesting. What's gonna happen here? There's gonna be, after this like crazy wave where they want you to do your super attack and all that, what's going to happen is 4 robots are going to spawn. I like to stay in the middle here. While collecting money, of course. I obviously collect as much as you can. But most of the robots are going to die to the van. If there's a robot in the middle here, you can just grab pummel them. But basically, once these cars get to like almost leaving the screen, these 2 robots are going to spawn, and these 2 robots are going to spawn on the left and right. The right bottom one's always going to die to a car, so you only have to worry about either spin attack or grab pummel this guy, depending on the character. And then you're going to immediately run back and either spin attack or grab pummel these 2 robots here. Any robot that lived the initial first wave of 4 robots is probably going to die during this process too. Use this time to pick up a little bit of money before this guy spawns. And then I messed this up a little bit. If you hit enemies too early in this game, they'll actually go up into the air instead of getting comboed on the ground, and that is a little annoying. But you can recover it like I did right there. Just like run forward, strong attack, hope it kills. And then the last thing there is after you kill the orange robot guy on the right, those 2 robots are going to be on the left. So you just want to spin or grab pummel. Metal Scott, this fight's kind of weird. I haven't really been able to make it so he kills you consistently. If you're a little short on money, you want to grab money during this, but basically what I do here is I try to go right and down to bait him into going up like this, and then I chase him up, and usually what happens is after I chase him up like that, he'll go down and immediately attack. Again, kind of weird. I'm sure there's a faster way to get him to attack you, but it's just it's not really very consistent, and he does change on difficulty to be more random with his movements. This is all for super easy, but hard strats are going to use a lot more strong combos than spins in this fight because of HP differences, or in this game. But yeah, after that, we're just gonna grab the required armor. You need to grab all the like stat things they tell you to pick up, so just grab them. We're gonna run over here. Start this. Again, I kind of assume you know where to go in the run, unless there's like a subspace thing. I am not really gonna like super explain the route like that. All right. So I'm gonna be doing these like jump kills here, and that's because for some enemies I'm gonna be doing these jump kills. For some I'm gonna be doing strong combos, but like enemies in this game don't fully die until they've touched the ground after being KO'd and like fully disappear. So by doing the jump combo like this, he doesn't go too high in the air, so you can basically you're killing the enemies faster by doing either a jump combo or the strong combo. Every other character except Roxy doesn't really get much use out of their jump combo, so I would recommend just doing strong combos to kill most enemies if they can. Some characters, like I think Scott and Matt, will need a few more light hits before their strong combo can kill though. So just keep that in mind. You want to feel out enemy HP and see what you can actually do. Roxy's incredibly strong. But basically after that, what I do is after killing that guy, go to the left of this like sandcastle thing, wait for these guys to spawn on the right, and then we're gonna spin and then spin again. Again, if you're another character who can't really move during their special, you could try to use your special, but you could also just grab and throw these guys. Don't grab pummel them because it won't actually kill them, but grab and throw them. And then, so yeah, we're gonna do spin, spin, and then this third spin's gonna kill this last wave of green guys, and then we're just gonna kind of stay here attacking and kill both of them. I got a little lucky with the ball there, but usually you can just combo them to death anyways. Using the little extra time to grab like a few more cents. I don't really know how much it adds up during the run, but obviously there's not really a reason not to grab money sometimes. Every character in the game is gonna do this this like jump slash movement. So anytime you see me doing this with Roxy, which is jumping and then slashing and then jumping and slashing again, you can apply that to every single character in the game in the exact same spots too. Roxy might be doing it a little faster than some characters, but like all of them get an advantage out of doing it. And then another thing I like to do, so this room has this random enemy here, this yellow demon that can kind of block your jump slashes. And anytime you jump slash an enemy, you lose all your momentum. So rather than jump slashing, I prefer to just do a double jump here. And I do that with most characters as well. Those are like the two fundamental like movement techs outside of fights, I guess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna buy 2 vegan tacos just to get a little bit of agility up. And then I'm gonna buy the Wallace plushie and then equip it. That's why I said you want like $30 after Metal Scott to make sure you have enough for that. All right. One of the biggest differences between this version and the current version is that just attacking bombs doesn't send them like flying across the screen. For newer runs, I like to grab both bombs and throw them. But for this run, I think I get the kind of weird skip, right? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure during this run, one of those bombs didn't actually hit. Okay, no, I don't get it in this run, okay. You can skip this cutscene and like leave the room early, but it requires getting like blown up at a very weird time. But basically, I would just throw both bombs individually into the van. This run's gonna have some outdated stuff, but it's, for the most part, very accurate. Because a lot of the stuff that I've like changed recently has been in this first part. Like for example, I like to bring a bomb from the Julie screen into this one and just throw a bomb instead of buying one here. But it is what it is. I attempt to go for the bomb skip here because I didn't realize that. I believe it's still in this version, but you need to leave the screen at the exact same time the bomb explodes, or it doesn't work. So I lost a little time to experimenting in this run. But for the most part, again, it's pretty accurate. You can just wait on this screen. It really doesn't lose that much time to just kind of wait here. Something to note about this screen specifically, once you see this fade out, you can actually just hold run. You can buffer running on a lot of screens in this game. Okay. This is probably one of the least consistent things that I do to start like fights here. I don't even remember if I actually get it in this run, but like basically every character can do this where they like stay here. I'm gonna have more mobility with Roxy, but every character can do this with their special attack. It's just different like hitboxes and all that. So what's gonna happen is these 4 vegan guys are gonna spawn. There's this guy on the right and these 2 on the left. The guy on the top right is always gonna die, which is funny. But I'm gonna be standing right here. I'm gonna walk up and then I'm gonna like start moving towards the left with this guy. And when he gets to like just before the middle crack, I'm gonna either spin with Roxy or special with every other character. And if you do it right, you can kill all 3 of these guys. These 2 green guys at the end of the wave are gonna spawn. And if you move back down, both of them will get blown up by a bomb. If you don't do that, you gotta like grab them and do some weird stuff. The biggest time loss in this fight especially is getting hit by the bombs. You don't want to get hit by the bombs. But what I'm going to do here is there's some of the waves will spawn bombs right on top of you. So when I stand in a specific place, it's just to make sure the bomb spawned there and not on top of me. Like, for example, if the bomb spawned on top of me while I was killing this guy, it'd be pretty annoying. So I'm Sorry. So I'm gonna do my jump slashes. Next guy's gonna spawn on the left here with a little bit of a delay. That's why I was kind of waiting for a second. Crits are a huge thing in this game, by the way, like, especially with Roxy. Roxy gets more crits than every other character, I'm pretty sure. Maybe except Ramona, but I don't know. But yeah, crits are huge. So this entire wave, by the way, just to go over it. Guy spawns on the right. Guy spawns on the left. Grabber spawns on the right. You're going to throw this guy on the left. You're going to kill this other grabber on the right, and then you're going to throw this guy on the left. It's a lot of right, left, right, left. This wave's pretty simple. You can just go to the right, kill those guys. I don't even think you need to kill these guys, but like you can do it. And then what I'm gonna do here, with every other character, I like to line up in the middle here because you can't move during your special. But like you're trying to kill these two guys on the bottom, so the right half of this wave will spawn, and then you want to just like spin again, kill all of them. Very important to know which enemies you can insta kill with a spin and which ones you can't for this run, for sure. For this last wave, I like to kind of hang around in the middle here. Wait for this indicator to spawn, walk to the right, start killing this guy. And then I like to wait until the bomb on the left here explodes, but if it's already exploded, you can just run to the left, start killing this guy. And then there's going to be these two guys, which you can spin on the left, and then two more, which you can spin on the right, that'll spawn a little bit. And then there's going to be two here, two here. So two on the right, two on the left. This wave especially can get a little chaotic just because of how many enemies there are, but it's not a big deal. If you have the ability to, you want to cast Julie before that transition, but sometimes you just kind of hit the ground the moment the enemy gets KO'd, and it's kind of hard to do it. Where characters differ the most in this game, pretty much by far, is how they fight bosses. It's kind of hard to explain every single boss strategy, but like I would recommend checking out the other character runs I've done for like specific strats depending on the character. But what Roxy's gonna do here is we're gonna run towards the enemy. We're gonna do our like slashing jump combo thing. Because what we're trying to do here is farm as many hits as possible so we can get crits. Because again, crits are insane. You want to hit the enemy as many times as possible. So like I'm going to do my jump combo, get all my slashes in, and then I'm going to run forward, ground slam. And then right after that, I'm going to cast Julie. Just because it's the most convenient time to do it. The boss is on the ground. You're just waiting for them to stand up. This boss is really easy to avoid the attacks of. I don't really think I need to explain it that much. The big thing you're worried about here is making sure that when you're at this point in the run, you really don't want the boss to have that much breathing space, because if they do, they can become invulnerable until they do their like guitar riff attack. But either if you get lucky and it doesn't happen, or if you grab bosses, this doesn't work on every boss, but you can grab bosses into like an infinite loop and just kill them that way if you're scared about them doing like a particularly long stall attack. You kind of want to think about this whenever you're killing a boss, where the money's going to spawn, because you will want to pick that money up. But I kill the boss so that during this cutscene, when I get warp back, I pick the money up. That can definitely save a bit of time if you're more cautious with it. As usual, we're gonna pick the stat upgrade up and then leave. I'm just kind of gonna jump and double jump there. Talk to them. Some text boxes in this game, whenever you leave them, you're gonna immediately be actionable. This is one of them, and if you spam the button too fast, you're gonna end up doing like a little double jump and losing time. So just be careful about that. I'm gonna buy as I'm gonna buy as many strength upgrades as possible here. Again, if I look a little confused during the run about what I'm buying when, it's because I was trying out like a completely new strat, which is definitely the best way I found to spend money so far. So we're gonna start this fight. You're gonna try to punch that guy to stun him on the left, but if he goes over to the right, it's fine. These male demons are very very fast and jumpy. Ideally, you'll be able to kill these guys together, and I'm gonna start doing strong attacks here because I don't want to worry about my jump slashes not fully killing enemies with their HP. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit an enemy with 2 light hits and then 2 strong hits. Most other characters can do like 1 light hit and a few strong hits, or they might require more. But the big takeaway is that you really, as every single character, never want to kill enemies with your light combo if you can avoid it, because pretty much every light combo in the game ends with sending the enemy flying upwards. And again, enemies don't die, and the next wave doesn't spawn unless unless the enemy hits the ground and they're like sprite despawns. With that one, I just did a strong attack. That's the light finisher, but like in some situations it doesn't matter if you do it. The main reason I'm using my light punch to hit enemies is because it has a lot more range than the strong attack and is a lot more consistent to hit. If you miss your punch, you can react to the enemy faster than if you miss your strong attack. So that's why I like to use the light attack to catch enemies. Because enemies in this game like to run around and just be all sorts of annoying. This is your standard OOT mechanic. Provided you don't fuck it up like I did, but it's fine. There's not really much I could say about those except try to commit it to muscle memory. By now with Roxy, you're gonna start kind of catching up to the screen a little bit with those jump hops, which is why I bought the 4 agility earlier. It's very minor, but like it definitely does help, I'm pretty sure. But now for the majority of the rest of the run, we're just gonna be buying strength. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna go up to this left side. The way these gargoyle enemies spawn is the bottom 2 statues will break first. So naturally, since those guys are gonna break first into enemies, you just kind of want to punch the other statues while you're waiting. You might have time to punch this this right statue, but if you don't, it's fine. Just kill both of them. You can either use jump slashes to kill them or the double jump. I find the double jump to be more consistent just because of larger hitbox. Jump transition through the screen. Just try to kill that enemy as fast as possible, so they can't like do annoying stuff like try to throw the hammer at you and then solve the easiest puzzle ever. This is probably my favorite arena in the game, just because of how it feels to play. So what we're gonna do here is I'm like kind of slow walking towards the right side of the screen because I'm waiting for these enemies to spawn, and then the moment they spawn, every character can do this. Roxy is obviously the best at it with their more mobile spin, but if you run into the right wall at the same time that you kill these skeleton guys, your special will like fling you to the left. And it lines up perfectly with most characters so that you can just special the right skeletons and then special the left skeletons immediately after. And then this coffin's gonna spawn using our jump combos. That is a good example of why I don't like using the jump combos all the time, especially with enemies with higher HP, because there can be some mixed results. But with Roxy, the difference between their jump and strong combos is more of a It's more of a situational feel than it is a strictly faster or slower. They're extremely similar time-wise to kill enemies. With these gargoyle waves, it's gonna get out of hand. You just kind of want to. My best recommendation is focus on killing the gargoyles first, just to get them out of the way. Obviously, if you land right in front of a plant and you can just kill them there, do it then. But yeah. With this wave in particular, I like to stand to the right of this coffin, because if you stand to the left, this guy might grab you. And these guys' grabs are really annoying. You do not want to be grabbed by them. It's one of the moves in the game that gives enemies super armor, which means they can't be KO'd while they're doing the move. You have to wait for it to end. All right. Envy is kind of just a whatever fight. Just do whatever worked on the last fight, pretty much. We're gonna be using our same jump slash combos. Sometimes they'll do this move that has super armor, which is actually kind of good when bosses do the super armor moves, because it means you can just like keep attacking them over and over. Envy does have an attack where they like turn into a flower or whatever that can waste like, I'm pretty sure it's literally over a minute, but I've only seen them do it if the fight goes on for way too long. And I'm pretty sure it's only like a low HP move. So just keep that in mind, I guess. Go over here, talk to Julie so you can activate the quest for the cabaret ticket. You do need to activate the quest before buying the ticket. The ticket doesn't spawn in the shop until then. Do not buy upgrades here or you will not have enough money to buy the ticket. That is a common mistake that I've ran into. And then once we get to this screen, again, every character can do this. Roxy has an easier time doing it than a lot of characters, but they can all do it. When you get into this screen, I'm going to move back a little bit, and then I'm going to dash forward, jump, jump. If you spam double jump, like if you spam the jump button to do this, it most likely will not work. You want to jump, and then like around the peak of your jump, use your double jump, and you'll make it. Sometimes you might have a bit of a funky landing. That's fine. Buy the cabaret ticket, leave. Sometimes if you're weird with your movement there, you'll end up re-entering the store. I don't know why, but it just happens. This first guy's gonna fall from here, then on the right, and then the next one's gonna fall on the center of the screen here, and then there's gonna be this demon on the right. This guy right here. These guys are kind of annoying if you miss their initial your initial hits on them. This is kind of a perfect example of the jump combo is sometimes not working. I have to use it like a spin to finish the fight just because they decided that they're not dying today. Same thing with this. We're just going to go right and then left. It's a little harder to do on that side, but it's the exact same premise. Good example of not great movement, but it is what it is. Buying some strength upgrades there. But after this point, we are no longer going to be using that shop where we can get minor upgrades. We're going to get much larger upgrades from now on from the movie rental shop. First enemy is going to spawn, going to kind of like drop in on the right here. And then I like to wait here in the middle of the screen so that both of these enemies spawn close enough together to be comboed. If you wait on the left, they spawn more spread apart. Also, another perfect example of using the strong combo over the jump combo. I'm pretty sure if I just jump comboed here, I wouldn't have also killed this guy with the finisher. Spin, spin. Anytime you see skeletons, you just want to spin them. They're similar to the standard robots. They're 1 HP enemies. And then these guys can teleport around, but usually if you're fast enough, they won't have time to do literally anything. After you kill the last wave of those like shade guys, the Phantom Twin will drop in the middle. And then we're just gonna combo them, again, attempting to get as many hits in as possible. Because, just look at that crit damage. Like, if you do a standard combo, and then without all these aerial slashes, you're missing out on so many chances to crit. Like, it is ridiculous. With these guys, I kind of like to let myself get hit by their attacks and then just roll back into them. Until like the like train sequence later, you don't really have to worry about enemies hitting you that much, or you don't have to worry about bosses doing like any real damage. That being said, for pretty much the remainder of this run, we're not gonna buy a ton of heals. So if you need to buy heals, there's like pretty much any shop in the game works for buying heals. Just try not to drain your money on it, or you won't be at the same level of upgrades later in the run. We're gonna go to no account video here, get the phone call from Neil. Sequence of events, just go over here. Perfect example of why I like double jumping sometimes instead of doing the the jump slash. Because as you saw right there, I just kind of hit them and it stopped all my speed. With this guy, you're kind of just want to just hit him how you would a boss. He has basically boss health for some reason. But as you're killing him, you just want to kill these waves of robots that spawn during the fight. And then after they're dead, once you hear like the break in the music there, shortly after that break, if you've killed all the other robots, these on the bottom of the screen, these robots are going to spawn here. And then you'll just finish the fight. Going over here, gonna talk to Wallace. This is one of the more annoying fights in the game. Just because these guys can like move around a lot, and they spawn super far apart. Most characters are gonna want to grab pummel whenever they can. Sometimes, with Roxy especially, you can just spin to like close the gap on enemies, or just like my best recommendation is if any enemies in this fight specifically are being annoying, just try to hit them with your special. Because every enemy in this fight will die to either a grab pummel or a spin until we start fighting the purple guys, the Mega Man guys. These Mega Man guys are going to require a combo. Once you're to this part of the fight, this guy's going to spawn here. There's going to be two guys that spawn on the right here. Make sure that you don't accidentally pick up objects in this game. It is very easy to do it. And then what I like to do here, what I'm doing here, spawning the car as far to the right as possible, and then once that spawns, running as far to the left as possible to give me as much time as I can possibly get to finish this combo before this car hits this robot, because that'll make him knock down with that'll knock him down but not kill him. So it'll waste a lot of time to not have that happen. As you can see, this guy spawns like pretty much instantly after. And then we're gonna wait on the right here to kill this guy. For some reason, this guy I feel like has more health than the other ones. I don't know why. It's very weird. All right, but we're gonna do this. I'm gonna try to speed a little more through the general stuff. I'm mostly wanting to talk about the fights here, and the like equipment and like price routing and all that with the items. So like we're gonna go into the store or the video shop. I'm gonna buy and then for most of the run, from now on, you're just gonna spam by these strength upgrades. Every character will hit max strength around after killing Matt. And then after that, we're gonna buy this midnight jog tape to get our agility up for the end. But for most of the rest of the run, you're just gonna buy as many of those as possible whenever you pass the video store, and then you're gonna enter the high school. The moment you're free here, you're gonna wait for these enemies to spawn on the right, spin to the left. Try to avoid the bombs, but again, weird stuff can happen. You're gonna kill those two guys, spin on the right, spin on the left. Kill this grappler, and then there's gonna be a bit of a delay before the next wave spawns. I like to go to the left here, just to set up like killing them against the wall. And then the last enemy here is gonna be this grabber here. River City Ransom movement to get up there. Killing this guy. This fight especially is one of the largest, honestly, this entire school section is one of the biggest differences that Roxy has compared to the rest of the cast. Because they can just spin and then kill like those two guys by just moving up and down. No other character can do that. Every other character has to do that differently. These guys can be a little annoying. They have a super armor attack they can use, but most of the time it'll be fine. If you're hitting an enemy and there's like an object, like a box in between them, sometimes they also die way faster, but it's not consistent. Sometimes they'll die way faster, but sometimes you'll punch them and the object will only hit them like once, and they'll like get like knocked to the floor. There's those two guys there, and then I'm gonna start punching to the left here to kill these guys the moment they spawn. And hopefully, if you're lucky enough, you'll just kill the entire wave there. Make sure you grab this key. This key is very important. You will lose a lot of time if you do not have this key. But we're going to carry this key through every transition, so every transition, make sure you're holding the key, or you will not keep it. Alright. This is one of the most annoying bosses in the game, this Simon Lee. I don't remember if I do the infinite throw here, but I would recommend doing the infinite throw even as Roxy, honestly. It's just way better. Also, this entire wave before him, you're just going to be killing every enemy with spin attacks except for the last guy. And then because he takes a little bit of time to come down, we're going to use Julie to get our attack up. And then you're just going to try to hit him. Like, honestly, I don't have a strategy for this. It is just... the first initial hit is by far the most important one to get. Yeah, I get insanely lucky here. I would recommend after the first volley of after the first combo you do, I would just recommend picking him up, throwing him, picking him up, throwing him. It's a little slower, but like that is really good. It's really good, but it's really luck dependent to not have to do the throws. I'm gonna grab the key here, pick up the required upgrade. This is another random difference between current patch and old version. If you ever are running on old version and you go through that portal, if you accept the assist obtained screen by accident, you will soft lock the game, so don't do that. But on this version, the portal doesn't open until that menu's gone, which is nice. All right, done with one boss, I'm immediately going to another one. He is always gonna start by doing this like this like unhittable like blast attack. So you're always gonna cast Julie immediately here, and then you want to attempt to catch him as quickly as possible. This fight is one that can either take a little bit or be literally the fastest fight in the game because he has so little health. This is the single worst boss kill in the run, honestly, probably. Just because I kill the boss all the way over there, and I have to run all the way back over to get the money. Also, be very careful not to leave the screen. If you leave this screen and come back with the key after killing him, you'll have to fight the thieves guys. Same thing if you accidentally go through this portal again. So be very careful with the key. What we're doing by bringing the key in like this is we're essentially skipping two story encounters where you have to kill like a bunch of random enemies. And then right here, okay. I'm gonna omit. I'm omitting the entire fight here, the baby G fight, because there was a glitch that was found where if you use the Lucas assist on this fight, the boss can randomly fall through the floor and get insta-killed, but I don't end up getting it in this run. So it just looks kind of annoying, and I lost like maybe like 10-12 seconds trying it. But again, this run was very experimental. It got a lot of things extremely right with being experimental, though, which is why like I still think this run is really good. This arena is pretty tricky. Basically, it's like 4 skeletons, this like Proto-Man guy. Despite him having the big hands in front of him, you can attack him in the front. It's not that big of a disadvantage because eventually he'll get stunned and get comboed anyways. Then this other guy's gonna spawn. If you're already behind them, just kind of stay behind them. And then hopefully the goal is to get this guy dead, so you can use your strong combo finisher to negate taking the fire damage on the floor and just continue the fight. These guys are gonna spawn. If you can group up enemies, great. This guy's super annoying. I hate this enemy because if you get hit by any of their fire moves, you will have to like wake yourself up from the stun. With this, you're just again trying to avoid the fire. This arena can get very weird. It gets a lot worse later though when you have to come back for the vegan fight. These gargoyles are gonna spawn, and then the end of this wave is just a green robot that spawns on the right. And yeah, I'm not gonna cover this fight, just because the way I do it here is it doesn't work. So just don't worry about it. I lose like 12 seconds here. The biggest thing I can say is try to kill him. With throws when he gets to hit like the last third of his health bar, or he can do a kind of annoying attack where he like stalls by going into the back of the screen. But yeah, I'm not gonna cover that one the way it's done in this run because it's not very good. And then I again, because I had to test that strat out, I have to re-equip Julie, but if you don't do that, you'll just have Julie equipped anyway, so don't worry about it. Going over here to the theater, talking to this guy. There's another cutscene where you immediately you're immediately actionable after it, the text box. Going back through here, we're gonna buy our strength upgrades. And then we're just doing standard movement back to here. Once the screen fades, run to the right. I run a little too far, but it's fine. First 2 enemies are going to spawn on the left here, and then to the right. And then there's going to be this like skater enemy. These skater enemies, all of the later vegan enemies are really like to be really evasive and annoying. So just try to don't feel too bad if you like can't get like consistent hits on them, because they are pretty hard to hit. They're gonna spawn here. I don't know why I didn't dodge the crystals there. It's kind of weird. And a lot of time you're going to notice I try to punch in front of enemies instead of immediately where they are, because sometimes chasing enemies is a lot worse than having them attempting to get them to walk into your punch. You kind of want to get a feel for how enemies move, so you know where to punch instead of basically attempting to punch their like after image. Because if you're purely reactive in that way, you're gonna miss a lot more hits than you'll land. At least from my experience. There's a demon fight here. This demon fight, I try to get as many double kills as possible because it's very fast it's very fast and very it's more consistent to get double kills in this fight than it is to get them in like most other fights in the game. Also, you're gonna notice by now I'm gonna be at pretty low HP, but it doesn't matter. The mat arena is honestly probably one of the easiest arenas in the entire game. So you should never have to worry about dying here. And hopefully during it you'll pick up enough random heals so that it won't really matter. Fight this guy. The next two enemies are going to spawn bottom left and top right. I'm just going to kill the bottom left one here. And then there's enemies to the sides. This guy on the left. And then the next one's going to be on the top right. Waiting for these guys to spawn. I get grabbed here, so I guess if you want to see what that attack looks like, yeah, it's annoying. By now in the run, like, obviously, you're still trying to group up enemies and do all this stuff, but enemies are going to get a little more annoying and start hitting you more. And so you want to also be focused on recovering after getting hit. You don't want to get stuck in a loop of getting hit and then getting hit again and then slowly getting up. The moment you get hit, you want to be thinking about what you're going to do when you get back up to avoid getting hit again. Matt's gonna spawn here. We're gonna do the same thing we've been doing. And then right here, I miss it, but it turns out, and I didn't know this while doing this run, but you can actually just stand still and keep punching and it'll cancel his fire tornado. You don't need to do like a bunch of fancy nonsense. We're just gonna kill him pretty easily right after anyways. Probably the single most pushover of a boss in the game. There's like basically nothing that can really go wrong here. Alright. But now we have knives. And knives is going to be our new assist for the rest of the game. Because they make us go really fast. So what you're going to do is, the moment you have knives on a screen, just jump and then double jump, and you'll like, by jumping and double jumping, you'll like attach yourself to the side of the screen. Also here, I'm gonna buy some HP because I was feeling a little unconfident with my HP value. You kind of just want to feel that out. Like, if you see yourself going from one room to another with less than like 80 HP during these later parts, I would probably recommend healing. There's this whole save point thing. Every text box there, you'll end up jumping out of if you're too fast, so careful. For these gargoyles, I like to kill the top four like that because of again, the order that they spawn in. That's a good example of a jump slash combo going wrong, where I get like flung backwards. It's very weird, the momentum in this game. Sometimes you just get flung a million miles away for no reason. But now that we have knives, we're going to be periodically, what you want to do is kind of have like a mental timer in your head and think about like, okay, you know, I just finished killing a wave of enemies. I should probably cast knives now. You don't want to spam it too much because you will run out of GP, and that is very bad, especially in the later parts of this. You do not want to run out of HP, or you don't want to run out of GP in some of the later areas. I like to wait in the middle here until the skeletons get like kind of close, because it makes the killing all three of them a little more consistent. And then something you're also going to notice is that casting knives to get knives back is a lot faster if you're already in knives. The animation is much more sped up. As you can see right there, it's a lot slower to lose knives. So again, you're trying to dance between like making sure you don't cast knives too much that you run out of GP, and making sure that you cast them frequently enough so that you don't run out of the actual assist. But by this point, this is less when I know the exact spawns of all the enemies, and more when I'm just kind of reacting a little. Again, I haven't run this game for like a billion hours. The game released like a few weeks ago. Gideona here. This is probably either this or Simon is the most annoying fight in the entire game. I actually end up dashing a little too far and missing them here, but luckily what happens here is they do this like the teleport animation, but for some reason they just reappear straight in the middle always, so you can just hit them. And then you're just going to try to get as many hits as possible. And then what's going to happen is after that, most likely what's going to happen is they're either going to fly up in the air and teleport to a different location on the top of the screen, and you'll have to react, or they'll do that fireball attack and you can just hit them. But basically, this fight is just reacting to when they fly up, let them teleport, and then react to where they are and jump slash. Some characters can juggle. Roxy is that juggling is one of the things Roxy's not as good at, because their juggle hits enemies really slowly, so it's not really good to use. But basically, it's a matter of just reacting and spamming attack as quickly as possible so that you can get them in stun as much as you just want to avoid giving them movement. You don't want to let them run around. All right. Again, casting knives there. Anytime you are moving from one location to another, just cast knives. I'm going in here to refill my HP a little bit. If you want, you can stop by the movie studio there and start buying agility. I'm gonna buy agility later in the run. Or I'm gonna buy all the agility later in the run, I'm pretty sure. Come over here, kill this guy. These big robots, both the silver and gold ones, can get stuck in this loop of like continuously using their super armor attack over and over again. If that happens, you just want to kind of spam your special, which eventually that'll knock them over. But most of the time, you'll be able to hit them before they even attack, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna do a bunch of spins. I'm just gonna grab Pummel to finish this. Or there we go. And then what's gonna happen is you're gonna lose knives here, but we're actually gonna not carry knives into this room, because it is way harder to get on directly on top of this train with knives. What will happen is whenever you move off this platform, you might end up dashing and then just falling off in like a loop, and it's really annoying. So I prefer to not have knives for this screen in particular. And if you cast knives exactly how I did, you'll pretty much always not have them there. Run back into the school. I'm gonna buy my agility. I don't know why I closed out of the menu. I was kind of getting used to buying stuff here for some reason. Go over here. You can try to jump slash through these hallways, but you might end up getting like stuck or rebounding off the screen. This right here. I don't know how to do this consistently. But what I try to do is I hold left and then like the frame The screen transitions, I press jump and then jump slash. And if you do it right, this movement will happen. If you don't do it right, you won't get that. But like I don't know how it works. It's so weird. It looks extremely cool, but I don't know how to do it consistently. What we're gonna do here is just pick up and throw volleyballs. Try to stay towards the middle of the screen so you can like bait the enemies into the volleyballs. But once every enemy dies to a volleyball, you'll win the challenge. Do not hit enemies normally there. You will fail. You have to kill them with the volleyballs. Also, those volleyballs do a lot of damage to you. You can end up getting into a very bad HP position here. I would recommend healing if you're, again, below like 80 HP. That's a good example of hitting double jump too late. And then here, we're going to have hyper here pretty much no matter what, so like you just want to be careful with your movement. If I ever say hyper, by the way, I'm referring to the speed that the Knives Assist gives you, because in the first game it was called hyper. All right, this little mini game here will go very different depending on the character you're playing. Most notably, Gideon and Lucas throw enemies down instead of to the side. So it's much more annoying to get enemies into the furnace if you're playing as them. But if you're playing as anyone else, you should have no problem just picking up enemies, throwing them into the furnace. Sometimes, honestly, with some enemies, I prefer to just kill them. Because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to advance the waves so you can get to these waves with the orange bombs. Because the orange bombs, as you can see, give you so much progress. This is where it kind of starts going like a little bit wrong, but it's fine. Again, throw all the enemies in. We're trying to progress the waves as much as possible. That is the single luckiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Don't worry about it. For anyone who thought that was planned, it absolutely wasn't. And then after you kill this last red robot, I actually found out recently, if you throw pretty much every single enemy, object, and bomb up to this point and get to that wave with the red robot, throwing the red robot in will end the minigame, but it's not that much faster. Like, just kill enemies so you can get to the orange bomb waves, and you'll have no problem with this. Again, if you're Lucas or Gideon, you have to stand much, much closer or just risk KOing enemies into the furnace. It's a lot more annoying. But Roxy and the rest of the cast have absolutely no problem. A lot of this fight is going to consist of punching the wall, because that's where most of the enemies spawn, except for this guy here. Again, with the Proto Man guys, you can just punch. You can just run and punch at them. You don't have to worry about the fact that they have a shield, really. But we're just gonna remember to cast knives whenever we feel like we're about to run out. This guy's with the steel back can be a little annoying. He can throw it and like other stuff, but it's fine. The last enemy that's gonna spawn here is a silver big robot. So after that, you know that you're gonna fight Lucas. And this fight is really easy. You can infinite throw him if you need to. I don't know why I did a throw right there, but I don't know. It felt right in the moment, I guess. But basically, just kind of stay on top of him, let his attack hit you, because most of the time it's fine. I'm going to have under 80 HP going into VPD here, but it's fine. I think I get close to dying in this run, if I remember correctly. VPD is way scarier than I feel like most people give it credit for. I honestly think it's easier to die in VPD going in with low HP than it is to die on the final boss. We're gonna switch our assist to Steven here, start the minigame, blow up the cruiser, and then right after the minigame is done, just switch your assist back, because we want to keep using knives. But there we go, we're going into VPD. The moment the screen starts, you can do like a little double jump here. Try to get a little closer to Zelda. First enemies are going to spawn on the left bottom here to spin, and then you're just going to kind of react to the rest of this. These, the large pink guys that are going to spawn here, if you don't hit them immediately, they can go into a super armor move, and you do not want to challenge that super armor move. It does like 30 damage. It's not worth it. Just let them finish the move. Also, by now, you will probably start noticing that you're using a lot of GP. The reason why we buy the Wallace plush is because it restores your GP on whenever you hit an enemy. If the Wallace plush was not in this run would be so much lower. Like significantly. The start of this fight, what I do is I actually intentionally spam A through the text box, so I do a jump slash here, which most of the time Gordian will also just do his like double jump move. So you can actually cancel it out and then immediately just start beating the shit out of him. And what I do there, so most of the time when Gordian gets up, he does this kick move, which is kind of annoying to dodge, but if you refill knives, you can't take damage, so you can just kind of ignore it. Pretty cool. But yeah, just beat the shit out of him. He can do some pretty good damage. Again, it is pretty easy to die here, so I would recommend taking precautions. Just to make sure you don't get blown up. But we're just gonna go here. I don't think this run gets bad subspace RNG. Also, I'm gonna attempt to do a double jump here and then give up on it because for some reason doing this double jump in Knives Assist is really hard. Like significantly harder than normal. I'm also gonna take the time to heal up this hot dog cart. So this subspace, when going through here to get to Scott's house, and when taking the second subspace that we're gonna do later in the run, there's a random chance you will enter a purple subspace that will force you to fight a bunch of thieves. There's no way to avoid this happening. It's completely random. And if you do have to do it, it loses about a minute to a minute and a half. So unfortunately, that is just something that'll happen. From what I've seen, it happened. I feel like the chances of it happening are roughly about 20%. During an entire run, you have about a 1 in 5 chance of it happening from what I've seen. But yeah, unfortunately, it is a case of annoying RNG, but luckily it is not that frequent. This entire thing is going to consist of spinning enemies off the platform when you can and using your strong combo to maintain GP. You don't want to run out of GP if you can avoid it, but most of the time you will run out of GP in this fight just because of the nature of it. Because what you're trying to do this entire time is just kind of hit enemies off as quickly as possible. You want to try to have GP left over to use your Knives Assist, or just use the Knives Assist in the elevator before you get here. Because not starting this wave with knives is a little unfortunate. Also, you also want to try to have enough energy to do that spin. Yeah. Kind of an awkward time to give myself knives, but at that point I was just kind of waiting for it. These bomb guys, now that you actually have to worry about killing them and not just throwing them into a fiery pit, you want to make sure you KO them with a full combo, even if it's with your light finisher. You want to make sure you're KOing them, because if they hit the ground and are not dead, they will still do this like extremely slow, annoying timed animation, but they won't actually die. The spin attack those large robots do can just be punched. Here's the second wave of bombs, and after the second wave of bombs, you're gonna run to the right side of the screen and just spam punch. And I guarantee you, 99.9 million% of the time, that gold robot will just die. All right, final Metal Scott. It's pretty much the exact same fight. If anything, it's even easier. Use your punch to kind of negate most of his attacks. I get a pretty like insanely good fight here, honestly. Mostly because of good spacing, but like yeah, he can move around the screen, he can teleport, he can do annoying things, but most of the time I find that Metal Scott's not really that bad compared to like Gideona or whatever. Okay. Once you leave through the left transition of the screen, you're gonna immediately be brought to the where we need to be here, which is here. Very, very convenient, very, very nice of the game to do that, so we don't have to take another subspace. And here we are. We are starting the final stretch. Running in here. You're gonna talk to Wallace. You're gonna talk to Wallace in here. Run back, and then you're gonna cast knives. Enter here. And yeah, okay. The subspace where the thieves spawn, it looks similar to this one, but the tiles are like smaller. Just so you have a good idea of like what it looks like. Again, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter because once you're in that subspace, you get locked in it until you beat it. This vegan van, there's no point in waiting to go get bombs. Just punch the crap out of it. You technically have a choice of what gem to do first, but it is not really that much of a choice. It's more of a there's very clearly one path that is the fastest, which is to do the vegan one first, then the demon one, and then the Wallace one. Because after doing that one, you get immediately brought back to the place you already need to go. This is one of the most annoying arenas in the game, just because of how much these vegan enemies can move around. I think this run gets a really good one, but like again, like you're trying to avoid the fire. The fire hitbox is only active for like I think literally a single frame. So if you're jumping, chances are you're probably randomly gonna not take damage from the fire anyways. So I personally wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're really that worried about the fire, you can always stand in the middle of these grates where it doesn't burn you. Casting knives assist there to negate the fire as well. But also just get a refill here. Alright. Don't know why I jumped there. Don't want to worry about it. Okay. And this is going to be our final buying stuff of the run. We're just going to buy max agility. As much as possible. And then I'm going to spend a little bit on health. Make sure when you're doing this that you talk to Wendy. If you don't talk to Wendy, the diamond's not going to be here. You have to talk to him. Same thing for the vegan diamond. You have to talk to Julie. Alright. These enemies, these like green guys, I like to spin them because their HP range is like extremely close to dying in one spin most of the time. Sometimes they won't, but most of the time they should. This fight is pretty standard. Otherwise, you're just killing the guys. They can be kind of annoying. Again, these guys can hop around, which is why I like spinning them as well, just so you can avoid that. But again, this is all pretty standard. By this point, you should like kind of have a good idea of, you know, what you want to do. Don't take too long like focusing on like killing on like strategizing like, oh, what enemy do I kill? Just like literally look at the enemies in front of you and figure out which one you could punch, because all of them need to die. If you can group enemies together, great. Also, I wanted to like highlight this especially weird interaction here. Like what the fuck is that? Like I don't know what the physics are in this game. It's so weird. Sometimes you do your jump slash combo and get flung a million miles away. And you don't even need to be in Knives Assist for it to happen. Okay. We're going back to Scott's house. You should know how to get there. Or, sorry, Steven's house. Scott does not own a house. Alright. Immediately, the moment this starts, this minigame is entirely based on enemies not being on this elevator. For every second that enemies are not on this elevator, this player 0 out of 20 thing is going to tick up by 1. So what you want to do is the moment this starts, immediately spin her special attack and then go over to these other boxes and do the same. I messed this up like a little bit, but not really that much. Like you probably want to knock that guy off and then Knives Assist and not do it the way I did it, but it's fine. And then you're gonna spin attack this guy. There's gonna be a guy that spawns right here. You're just gonna spin attack him. And then we're waiting for 2 more boxes to spawn. Roxy can pretty consistently hit those 2 with 1 special, but some other characters might struggle. And then right after that, these 2 guys are going to spawn. Again, just try to deal with them as quickly as possible. Robots are going to spawn on the left. And by now, you can end this minigame before this bot wave spawns, but if you can't, then it's fine. You're just gonna kill these bots. And usually right after you kill the last set of those 2 clown bots, the minigame will end. If you get stuck in the later waves of that, I genuinely don't actually know what the waves are because I've never seen them. So good luck. But by now, you're also going to notice that you probably have no GP. So what we're going to do is, before fighting the final boss, we're going to run in here and buy these karma pellets to refill our HP and GP. You don't need all your GP, just like 100 or so will be fine. Or actually, I mean, in all honesty, you probably don't need that much GP at all, but like, it's fine. Initially, I used Knives Assist for these diamonds, but now that we're buying from the movie cinema and we have like nearly max agility coming into this, I actually think it's better to not cast knives here at all. I find that knives messes with your speed here more than anything. Makes you slide around more. Okay, explaining these diamonds. I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how these stupid diamonds work, and I still don't fully get it, but I think I kind of get it. So, what we're doing here. The moment this spawns, or the moment you're actionable, do like very minor damage to this diamond until the hammer spawns. Move out of the way, because sometimes this diamond will rise up and then smash down on you, and if the hammer's there, it's kind of annoying. But basically, once you get the hammer, we're gonna start with this top one. Technically, you could do these in any order, but this is the way I've found that is the easiest to kind of dodge the diamonds during. You're gonna keep hitting them. If you ever see the diamond flash, that means it's about to fire a shot. You want to move either up or down to dodge it, and then immediately go back to hitting the diamond. Don't move between diamonds too much unless the diamond is doing this like raise in the sky attack because it's going to be doing that for a while. You want to move to another diamond at that point. Also, if you have knives equipped during this, don't spam the hammer too fast. If spamming the hammer too fast will actually reset the diamonds being knocked back, and it'll actually push them towards the edge slower. Another reason to not really use knives during this fight. But as you see, I'm gonna be doing these diamonds in sort of a like 1 2 3 3 2 1 1 2 3 pattern. Just so I can have a consistent strategy. First enemy that's gonna spawn here is that robot guy. He usually doesn't pose a threat. Most of the time he ends up dying just because you're swinging the hammer anyways. But yeah, from now on it's just kind of, you know, get in front of a diamond, hit it. Sometimes you're gonna notice to dodge, I actually end up running past the diamond to dodge, which is also another thing you can do. If you're feeling moving to the sides is a little too slow. But yeah, this fight is a lot of decision making very fast. Most of the rest of this game, you don't really have to like strategize too much other than knowing where enemies are and what combos to use. But like this fight is very, you're gonna lose a lot of time if you're not thinking about it. Also, unfortunately, this last time is a little annoying. If they're at the very, very edge, you don't even need to pick up the hammer again. Just kind of push them in. And then before the Guardian cutscene, you want to make sure you cast knives. You want to have max speed here. But this fight, the moment it starts, run over. Attempt to beat the shit out of him. Either knock him to the right, knock him to the left. Doesn't matter. You're gonna punch him as much as possible. Once he knocks you off, he's most likely 99% of the time gonna spawn a lava portal. I don't know why I run into him, but like it's fine. Whenever he spawns the lava portal, stay away from him for a little bit, and then because you're trying to get him to walk away from his lava portal, because this thing has a much bigger hitbox than it actually looks like. Like it's really annoying to deal with. Unfortunately, he just kind of stood there and looked at me, which is always fun. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. This is not a good example of Guardian. As you can see, I quite literally get to 20 HP. I actually end up almost dying. But it's fine. Again, that Guardian as a fight is really annoying. He could do a whole bunch of garbage. If he puts up his like mega shield, just continuously punch him through it. It's basically free damage. If he does anything other than the lava pool, if you don't hit him before he attacks, very bad things will happen. So make sure you're hitting him. Be as aggressive as possible, unless it's around those lava pools. You want to be very careful with those. That's the big thing. But there we go. That is I guess you could call this an analysis of the Roxy run. I kind of just wanted an excuse to like yap about all the stuff that I'm doing in the runs without having to type a billion things into the Discord. Because I want to, you know, I want to let people know like my thought process during the run and all that, and yeah, I want to let people know what's up. So there you go. That is Scott Pilgrim EX Speedrun. All right.